wonderful listeners. Sandy here with another Power Pop. Last week, I was talking with a woman in her 40s who was telling me that she was just beginning to take control of her life. She said she spent her entire life trying to be a good daughter to very, very difficult parents. They were incredibly judgmental and controlling. If she didn't do everything they said the way they said it, they would withhold love and make her feel terrible. She spent the first part of her adult life trying to live up to that and making every decision she did based on what they told her to do. She finally realized the life they had wanted her to create was not the right life for her, and she is just now starting to control and own her own life. And it got me thinking about so many people that I have met over the years who spend their lives living what other people told them to do or what they think other people want them to do, or just not taking responsibility for themselves at all and making excuses instead of taking charge. So today we're looking at, how do you own your life, or do you just make excuses? When you own your life, it means you are responsible for what you do and when you do it and why you do it. And it's not about what has happened before. It doesn't mean that your past doesn't matter or that other people didn't hurt or limit you, make things harder than they should have, and got in your way so that you couldn't be who you wanted to be. The important thing to know is that owning your life draws a line between what happened to you and what you choose to do about it. It means that you take charge. You can't blame your past or circumstances, and you adapt or change to meet the situation. You can't outsource your growth. You have to do the work. And I'm sure we've all known people who are choosing not to do the work and just spend their time waiting for life to happen for them instead of making it happen. The important thing to know is that when you start to own your life, it's hard. But once you get into the routine, it becomes freedom. Because once you fully accept that your life is yours to shape, then something shifts. You stop waiting for things to happen. You stop hoping someone else will fix things. And you stop negotiating with reality. Instead, you start building your life, not the one someone else wants you to do. A lot of people who don't own their life spend their time making excuses. They say things like, I would have been successful if, or I can't do that because, or it's just not fair. The problem is, excuses trade short term comfort for long term powerlessness. And when you make excuses, you give up the power to run your life the way you want it to be. Eventually, if you do a lot of excuses, you stop trying and you avoid responsibility and you stay stuck because stuck feels safer than risking change and getting out of your comfort zone. And people become prisoners of this situation because of the stories they tell themselves. The difference between owning your life and living excuses is that when something goes wrong, if you own your life, you say, what can I do about this? If you are an excuse maker, you say, who's to blame? When you're facing discomfort, if you own your life, you say, this is part of the process. If you make excuses, you say, this shouldn't be happening. And when progress is slow, if you own your life, you adjust and create a new strategy where if you make excuses, you just stop and abandon the whole effort. What happens is that over weeks and months, those small responses turn into radically different lives. What people fail to realize is that they're always choosing, even when they choose to use an excuse. Choosing not to act is still action. Choosing to stay in a situation is still a choice. Ownership is simply recognizing that reality and deciding to choose consciously instead of passively will get you where you want to go. It's important to let go of the need to blame. Blaming feels powerful, but it's actually a form of surrender. When everything is someone else's fault, you remove your ability to change anything. When you own your life, you say things like, that seemed really unfair, but I'm still moving forward. They were wrong, but I'm responsible for my next step. This is hard, but I am still capable. When you do this, you build a life of respect. When you take ownership, it means you trust yourself more. You recover faster from setbacks. You stop wasting energy on what you can't control, and you build momentum instead of frustration. You also feel self respect and proud of who you are and what you're making happen because you are being true to yourself. And over time, you start to notice that your life begins to reflect your effort and your standards and your decisions, not those of others. So choosing to run your life isn't just a one time thing, it's a daily choice. Every setback, every inconvenience, and every failure presents you with the same question. Will I take ownership of this, or will I blame and explain it away? The first path is harder in the moment, but leads you somewhere. It leads you where you want to go. The other feels easier, but keeps you exactly where you are. In the end, taking ownership of your life isn't about controlling everything, because that's impossible. It's about refusing to give up control over the one thing that is always yours, which is your response. And that response, repeated over time, will become your life. The woman I was talking with now understands that and is moving ahead and creating the life that she wants, not that other people want for her. And I hope that all of you will do the same. Own your life, claim your power.